Welcome to Crimenelia Street. I'm Tori.
I'm Sam.
And we are gathered here today.
The first day of the year of 2026 for episode 29.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Hitting the ground running.
Yep, we're getting up there. We're getting almost to 30. Hey.
Wow.
We got to do something special for like 50.
Oh, I agree.
That'll be a good one.
Wow, yeah.
But we are a little bit, I don't want to say we're rusty. We're getting back into the swing of things after a sabbatical.
A hiatus,
If you will. Yeah, just a little break. Yeah.
Right. We needed a little vacay, I mean, honestly, December was so busy for both of us. We were trying to make it work, and it was just like, the time is not there.
Right. It was nuts. I think it was like after Thanksgiving, it just seems like a blur of just things happening constantly. So I guess as things do, things happen.
Yep. Yeah, definitely was a blur. I feel like I blinked and December was over. All good things. All good things.
Yes. It was a good time, and now it's like getting back to kind of reality and just doing the damn thing.
This isn't ew, by the way, just to clarify, but like, the other realities of it all.
Right, just the other stuff. No more hot cocoa and things like that. And
yeah, I'm gonna have to pack this Christmas tree up.
Yeah, mine's still up too. Obviously, by my name, Christmas lights still up.
Yes.
Because it's January. And they'll probably be up for another day or two.
That is actually, I love that. Now, for some reason, so Sam's name tonight is Xmas Lights still, and it's the carrot. What do you call that character on a keyboard?
The up symbol. I don't know.
Yeah, the up symbol, one. Pretty much.
The shift 6.
And then in parentheses, BC Jan, and because January, now that makes sense. I had read it as BC Jan, and I thought of Jan, the dancer.
Oh, the dancer. The Eras Tour dancer.
Still fresh off the docuseries. So.
I could tell, yes. That is so funny. Yeah, so we can only use like 30 characters for our name, so... It's like, what is that quote from The Office from Kevin? He's like, why use many words when few words do trick or something?
And I think that whole episode he talks like that.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So that was kind of so that's like a nice little crossover situation there. And then it's also funny because Tori's name is FSU, FIUUUU, and so we have this thing where sometimes our names are so similar but not exactly the same. And I had up because of, I actually haven't seen this part of, or seen the last few episodes of the docuseries, I know. Girl. I've just seen that clip, so.
It's like part of me wants to tell you, like, watch it because it's so good. And then the other part of me is like, but then once you watch it, you won't have any more to watch.
I think that's why I am putting it off, because I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I need something like that, in my back pocket for just one of the days when I'm just like, I need a little pick-me-up. So, yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. It's also, you will cry.
Oh, oh my gosh.
I think I cried the most in episode 5, certainly in every single episode.
Right.
And also a lot in 6. And now, before I watched the whole docuseries, I was able to watch the new tour without sobbing, and that's no longer possible.
Oh my gosh.
I cry watching the tour now, too, because everything going on behind it. And
yes, wow. Cool. Yeah. Well, yay, I'll be crying more.
Yay. It's so good though. A lot of it's like wholesome-y cry.
Mm-hmm.
Some
For
of
sure.
it.
Yeah, I love those kinds of cries.
You know, we're gonna cry one way or the other, so at least it's a wholesome cry.
Right. Right. A wholesome, nostalgic kind of cry, but yeah.
Well, usually we say, should we get into the sad shit? But I think we should say, should we fuck shit up?
Oh, okay. I kind of like that. Should we fuck some shit up then?
Let's fuck it up.
That's funny. Our story today brings us to Springfield, Missouri in the summer of 1992. The neighborhood in our story is described as comfortable. It was tree lined with lots of families and modest homes and well kept lawns. Very normal by all, by all senses of the word.
It's like suburbia.
Yep, suburbia, the kind of neighborhood where nothing really bad happens. People often left their doors unlocked, and
That's wild.
I know. I feel like just regardless, I would never do that. Like, I don't know. I didn't live back
But
then.
right, and we also host a true crime podcast. I feel like that changes things.
True, it does.
Not to mention, my toddler will be out the door if it's unlocked. So
Oh my gosh, yes. Child locks out the wazoo. Doors are unlocked. Everyone is just having a good old time. So the house at the center of the story was located at 1717 Delmar Street. It was a small home that had recently become a fresh start for a woman named Cheryl Levitt. Cheryl was 47 years old in 1992, and she was described as petite, just 5 feet tall, and she worked as a cosmetologist. She actually had just really recently been through it. Her marriage had fallen apart. It ended in divorce, and she was under a lot of financial stress, but she was determined to make the best of it and move on with rebuilding her life. In the spring of 1992, she purchased the home on 1717 Delmar Street and was just putting all of her energy into fixing it up. And she spent her spare time painting and redecorating and refinishing furniture. And yeah, she was just really determined to just keep on moving.
good for her.
Yeah. So Cheryl had a daughter. Her name was Suzanne Streeter. She went by Susie. She was 19 years old and had just graduated from high school. And Susie and Cheryl were super close. They kind of, I mean, with the divorce and everything, and just other family problems, they had been through it together and just stuck by each other's side the whole time. So yeah, they were super duper close. And Cheryl actually also had an older son named Bart, who obviously Susie's older brother. He was about 9 years older than she was. And he was estranged from the family. He kind of ran away from home at a pretty young age and just went through various substance abuse issues and everything like that. But he kind of he kind of overcame a lot of that and, got off any of the harder drugs and things. And Susie actually spent some time living with him while her mom and their dad were going through a divorce.
Okay.
But due to some arguments that they had, she ended up having to move out and she went no contact with him. I guess it got pretty bad, whatever issues were happening. And so when she moved out of his house, she also tried living with an ex-boyfriend. His name was Dustin. She would describe him as being abusive, and she ended up actually having to get a restraining order against him after he slashed her tires.
Dang.
So she left, but thankfully at this point, her mom had finally been able to buy the home on Delmar Street, and so then she was able to move in with her mom. So thankfully, that was all good.
Poor Susie.
I know, all in her senior year of high school,
Oh
this
my
is happening
gosh,
too,
wow.
So
Yeah.
lots of craziness. So Susie was pretty popular at school, but she had two particularly close friends. One was named Janelle Kirby, and another is named Stacy McCall. Stacy and Janelle were both 18 years old and they graduated in the same class as Susie. And Susie had dreams of becoming a cosmetologist just like her mother. Sorry. Of becoming a cosmetologist, just like her mother Cheryl. And then Janelle and Stacy were actually both going to attend the same university, Southwestern Missouri State, in the fall. So big plans, summer of graduating high school. What a time. So, the night of June the 6th, 1992, was their graduation ceremony. And afterwards, Susie and Cheryl went back to their home to just eat some pizza and just unwind a bit before Susie was going to go out and celebrate with her friends, including Stacy and Janelle. All of the graduates kind of had the same plan. They were going to a few different parties around town, and then they were all going to meet up in the morning at a local water park to celebrate some more. So originally, Susie and Stacy had decided to stay at a hotel in the neighboring town, whereas Janelle decided to go to a party at her neighbor's house. That was just right next door. Around 10 p.m., Stacy calls her mother to let her know that they are changing their plans, that herself and Susie are going to actually head over to Janelle's house and stay with her. Her mother says, "Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. Check in with me in the morning before you head out to the water park and have a good time. So the two girls drive over to Janelle's house. They attend the party at the neighbor's house until about 1:30 a.m. And then when they all went back to Janelle's house, they found out that Janelle's family actually was staying from out of town to celebrate the graduation in all the spare rooms. So there was no room for them to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Right. So Susie's house was nearby. It was right around the corner. And also Susie's mother Cheryl had just bought her a king-size waterbed as a graduation present.
Oh, wow. The water beds.
Right? Oh my gosh.
That
Those
takes
things
me
were
back.
crazy, right? Yeah. My parents never had one, but like I would go over to a couple friends' houses who would have them, and they nuts.
I had some friends who had them too, and yeah, it was wild. I never slept well on one, I will say. I would always
Right.
wake up sore the next day, but they were really
Yeah.
fun to bounce around on.
Oh yeah. But Susie's like, let's not sleep on the floor. Let's just go to my house right around the corner. And actually, Janelle's mother would overhear them discussing their plans to go back to Susie's house as well.
Okay.
So Janelle, says goodbye and she sees them drive off. They're both in their own cars. Stacy's in her car and Susie's in her own vehicle as well. So they drive off and they just have plans to meet up in the morning. Fast forward to 8 a.m. Janelle calls Susie's house to check in, as Susie was Janelle's ride to the water park that day, but she doesn't get an answer, so she leaves a message. And then when she doesn't hear back at noon, she starts to get a little concerned. It's very much unlike Susie for this to happen. So
Yeah.
Janelle calls her boyfriend, whose name is Mike. She calls him over and they decide to head to Susie's house to check in on the girls. So they arrive and they see all three of their vehicles still in the driveway. They walk up to the front porch and then they notice that there's glass shattered all over the floor and they're trying to figure out what it's from. And then they look up and they see that there's a front porch light, but the bulb is intact, but the kind of enclosure that it's in, the glass case, is what was
Yeah.
shattered. So they're like, that's weird. There's a broom right there on the front porch, so Mike sweeps it up without really even thinking. And so they look in the windows because they don't really, no one's coming out to greet them, and there's a dog inside going nuts. So they look in through the windows, and nothing seems out of place, and they're knocking on the door, no one's answering, but the dog, whose name is Cinnamon, is barking like crazy. So they tried the front door. I know, little Cinnamon. They tried the front door and they found it unlocked, and Cinnamon immediately ran to them and seemed very anxious and stressed. And they kind of was just searching through the home and found no one. And they went into Susie's room, and the TV was still on, and the bed was unmade. It looks like someone had been laying in it. And the girl's jewelry and sunglasses were right there on the dresser. And then also all of the women's purses were piled together in front of her room. And Cheryl's actually still had $900 cash, and her cigarettes were in there.
That's a lot of cash.
I know, right? Especially
Maybe.
back then, too.
Yeah, maybe cashing a check or something, but still.
Right. But yeah, and her cigarettes were also in her purse, and everyone that knew Cheryl would know that she would never, ever, go anywhere without her cigarettes.
Oh, gosh.
So it's like, okay. And then also, they saw in Stacy's purse that she still had her migraine medication in it, and people would also say that she would never go anywhere without that because she had a medical condition and needed them to function,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now, as they're kind of just looking around, the phone rings, and Janelle answers it, and it's a man on the other end who starts saying some really gross, obscene, sexual things. And she remembers Susie saying that her and her mom had been getting a lot of prank calls lately from this one person, it seemed like, and he would make all these graphic, pervy jokes and innuendos and things. So she would just kind of hang up and go about her day. I know, how, that would be so disturbing. I would hate that.
Yeah, you can't get away with that shit today, I feel
Oh
like.
no. Oh no.
Yeah. Ugh.
And it's just okay, if you get one prank call, it's whatever, but repeated calls like that, oh my gosh.
That's scary.
That would make me feel so uneasy, but she didn't really
Yeah.
take it seriously. She was just like, oh my gosh, whatever.
Right. Prank calls were a much, more common thing back then, too.
Right. Is your refrigerator running? So Janelle just hangs up. She's like, oh my gosh. And then the phone rings again, and it's the same guy, and he does it again.
Oh
So she
my
just
God.
hangs up again. And then Janelle calls Stacy's mom, whose name is Janice, who is already worried at this point. And she shows up at Susie and Cheryl's house too. And then she notices that the answering machine light is blinking. So she listens to the message, which she doesn't remember what it said. She just kind of describes it as strange. And then, unfortunately, back in those days, the answering machines would usually delete messages after you listen to
No.
them.
No.
I know. Right. It would just be a one-time thing. So,
Oh, man.
right.
Can you imagine if someone, leaves their phone number?
Right.
And you need
And
to,
you're trying to...
Yeah.
I feel like there's movie scenes with that in it. People are
Oh my
freaking out.
gosh.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up.
Right,
But-
or was it a convenience thing? Because people wanted to delete them after they... I don't know. It's stupid.
right. It is stupid.
Now we can just look at them. Anyways, sorry. I'm
Right.
just,
Now it
so...
transcribes it as someone's leaving it.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Wild.
The message was unfortunately gone.
Oh my God. And I can't... And she didn't remember anything of what it said?
She just said it was a man and it was strange. So
That's gonna haunt me.
I know. And nothing in the house seemed particularly out of place. It was kind of messy, but messy as in just there were dishes in the sink. And so they also were kind of helping clean up. They were just tidying up a little bit because they just, I know.
No.
But then, so she's looking
Leave.
around, right, and then Janelle shows her Stacy's purse, and she sees the medication in there, and then that's when she's like, no, it's not like they just stepped out to the grocery store, something's seriously wrong, and so she calls the police. So the police arrive, and unfortunately, they find that the crime scene had been heavily contaminated between the glass
Yeah.
being swept up and the answering machine being wiped and belongings being moved about and looked through. And yeah, there was nothing that they could really do about that. And there was no blood, no DNA, no obvious forced entry apart from the light being shattered or the light case.
Yeah, which is like a weird thing. That's not really forced entry.
Right, right. So it's just odd.
Yeah.
And it's like they found some towels in the bathroom sink with makeup on them. So it's like the girls
Okay.
like took off their makeup when they got home, getting ready for bed. It seems like they were like abducted or something right after they got into bed. And it's just crazy because like why these three girls and Susie and Stacy were not even supposed to be there that night. Like
Right. Right.
it's just
Huh.
like talk about a crazy chain of events, you know? So the case quickly gains a lot of traction, and the women become known as the Springfield Three. There were over 20,000 posters that were spread throughout the area. The FBI became involved, and there were hundreds of volunteers and air searches, and nothing is found.
Wow.
And the police began to interview those closest to the women and those that were around them that night. Partygoers said that everything seemed pretty normal and that the girls were in great spirits. They begin to interview friends and family, and they come up with two main suspects. The first is Bart Streeter, Susie's older brother, and Bart says that on the night that they were last seen, he was at a buddy's house partying and he passed out once he got home drunk. So there's no way he could have
Okay.
taken the girls. And it's like, okay, that doesn't
That's like worse than
necessarily.
my mom said I didn't do it. That's like literally just I said I didn't do it.
Right. Because I was right. It's like, okay. But, you know, even though he didn't really have a solid alibi, he agrees to a polygraph test and he passes, and the police have to let him go because there's no evidence for
Right.
leading towards him. So the next suspect is actually Susie's ex-boyfriend, Dustin, and he was the one that she said was abusive towards her. And oh my God. Coincidentally, or maybe not, he had just been arrested for grave robbing. Um, uh,
What?
no, this gets so. When I read this, I was like, this is so disturbing. Okay, so he had been arrested for grave robbing along with a few other guys. They were kind of in like a local gang of sorts, a
Okay.
grave robbing gang. I don't know.
I hate it.
Yeah, and so the thing is like Susie had something to do with them getting caught. So I hate this. Apparently, everything kind of came to a head when they had broken into a mausoleum at the local cemetery to rob some graves. They were like taking out people's like gold teeth and stuff. And they set a corpse's hair on fire so that they could see.
In the dark?
Right, yeah.
No.
It's like you
No.
can't bring a flashlight? That is just like so
Find a
beyond.
stick?
uh, I don't know. Like I felt sick when I read that. So they were
Yeah,
kind of like,
I'm so
yeah.
sorry. That's just like hard for me to just
I
move
know.
past.
I know. That's like one of the worst things I've read in a long time. So sorry to drop that little tidbit
And
in
he
there.
said so they could see, and I'm like, see what? And then I realized, fuck.
It's not funny either. Like I'm
It's
not
not at all
laughing.
funny. This is our
It's not.
nervous
This is like,
laughing,
wow, this
but
sucks.
it does
These
suck.
people are sick.
What?
Anyway, yeah, so
Wow.
they were
Okay.
kind of like they were showing off what they got to Susie, and she was so disgusted by this that she broke up with him. And maybe
Good.
that's why like the whole slashing of the tires happened and
Okay. So
whatever.
did she
So
snitch on them, or what?
she
How was she?
did.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Good for
reported them
her.
to the police and she was actually scheduled to testify at their trial.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the police are like, huh, okay. But however, all of these boys in this, gang and Justin, they passed their lie detector tests and they
Who
deny any
cares?
involvement. I know. But
I'm
there's
so
like
sorry.
no,
There's
yeah,
no evidence, right?
there's literally none. But that would be a motive, you know what I mean?
That is motive for
Uh,
sure, yeah.
right.
I
So
mean,
unfortunately,
both the suspects have motive, but that does seem like a strong motive.
right, right. And just like he's slashing your tires, maybe he's responsible for the prank calls, like, and she's just trying to play it off like it's fine. I don't know, but that's just so, yep. So yeah, that unfortunately goes to a dead end. And then another lead comes in from an older neighbor. She would spend a lot of time sitting on her front porch and she noticed a green van circling the block in the area. She remembers seeing it in the, days surrounding the abductions or supposed abductions. She called the police to say that whoever was driving it was a young blonde woman who looked like she was in distress, and the windows were slightly open and she could hear a man's voice talking from like in the back seat of the van. Like there was no windows in the back of the van, one of those, like those creeper vans.
What are they called? Like kidnapping van or
Paint,
something.
like a
Anyways.
paint, right? Like, yeah, exactly. We know the one.
Yeah.
So she could hear a man's voice sternly talking to the girl driver. And so the police show her photos of the three women, and she said that the driver definitely looked like Susie. So the police spread this info about immediately about the van and everything, but unfortunately, that trail went cold as well. So
Damn.
it's like that could be something or it could be nothing.
It's like a
Um,
mystery machine out there. Like it's
I
a green
know.
van. How do we not? I wonder if they just like hid
Right.
it or got rid of it. Damn. You'd
And
think that
even
would
if
turn
it's
up.
exactly, and even if there's like, it's not having to do with the three of them, a woman in distress, and I mean, that's something weird going on as it is. Anyway, then on New Year's Eve of 1992, America's Most Wanted covered the story. And then that night, a viewer calls in who says he has info on the case. And the operator began to connect the call to the Springfield police, and either the call disconnected on accident or the caller hung up and they were unable to ever trace it. So it's like, ah,
Those
yeah.
are, that's gonna haunt me too.
So pretty much there was a lot of cold dead ends in this case, unfortunately. I'm going to just go over one kind of more notable one. And it was about this guy named Robert Cox. And he was from Florida. And he was actually, I don't know how this happened. I didn't even want to research it because I knew it would just make me mad. Um, so he
Fair.
was about to be given the death penalty in Florida because he brutally raped and murdered a 19-year-old girl. Okay. And somehow his verdict was reversed. So he was able to leave Florida and he had moved to Springfield just a few months before the girls disappeared. And then he happened to get a job at the same dealership that Stacy's dad worked at.
How do you get a
Right.
verdict revert? Well, I mean, you don't have to answer that, but I'm just like, damn.
So, but he denied ever meeting or knowing the woman, and he says that he spent the night with his girlfriend before going to church that following morning, and his girlfriend corroborated his alibi, and the police had to move on. Now, what is crazy is that a few years later, in 1994, Robert moved on to Texas, and he robs a mother and a child at gunpoint, and then flees to Plano, Texas, and follows a girl home and tries to enter her apartment, which thankfully she's able to call the police in time and he's arrested.
Oh my
And
God.
she was unharmed, thankfully.
Thank
And
God.
then after his arrest, because he was still with his girlfriend admits to police that she lied about where he was the night of June 6th, and she actually had no idea where he was. She was just lying for him. And so then he begins to like taunt police and the media about these women because he knows it's like a big deal. And he says he knows exactly where they are and that the bodies will never be found and that the two girls were not the target, but it ended up being easy to control three people at gunpoint, is what he said. I'm like, ooh,
Disgusting.
I know. But it's like, once again, at no point, or at this point, there's no evidence to tie him to the case. It's just him saying it, and the police honestly can't tell whether he is just messing with them or if he's actually like, yeah, I did this.
And something, well, I don't know because it was 1992, but now there's always like a couple things that the police don't tell the public. So someone
Right.
who's trying to come out and say, hey, I did this thing
We'll
would
say
know
something.
those couple things. So yeah, I
Right,
wonder if
right.
they did that back then because I'm sure they would have known he was the guy if that was the case.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Because that's where it's like you want to say, obviously he did it, but like if he's not showing where the bodies are, if he's not, they can't do anything. So, I mean, to this day, the case remains open and unsolved, and there are so many other theories about what could have happened to Cheryl,
I
Susie, and
bet.
Stacy, but no one knows for sure. And that is the story of the Springfield Three.
It's just so sad that there's so little answers and no one has a solid alibi of all the suspects.
Right. But no one can be like officially charged. And it's just so crazy that, like, just that one change of plans,
I know.
that one decision to spend the night, like, yeah, it's just insane.
And
And for
like,
nothing to be messed up in the house and all that. Like,
right, except
so
for the
strange.
porch light. That is very strange to me. Almost like, did he maybe like lure them out there by like breaking the
Right.
porch light and then they're like, oh my God, what happened? And open the door
Yeah.
and then are at
Yeah.
gunpoint then or something.
And like no one
God,
heard anything. Nothing.
that's crazy too. Yeah. Especially the glass shattering. You'd think someone would hear that. Jeez.
Craziness.
That is crazy.
Yeah, there's like other
Sorry.
theories about utility man, like a utility man. There's like some utility man theory. I was like, I'm just not, I can't deal with another cold dead end.
Yeah. I bet. I can only imagine because I know with the Robert Wan case, I mean,
So many.
there's so much to get into. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just people saying things
Right,
with like
right.
who like aren't close at all to the case. So,
Yeah, just speculating.
right. And not to like undermine that. Like, I mean, sometimes people do solve cases that way,
Oh
but
yeah, for sure.
but yeah, it's just it's a lot to take in. Well, should we shift to happy stuff?
Let's do it.
I'm so glad we do
And
these
it,
palette cleansers because could you imagine just being like, all right, follow us on socials.
see you later. Right,
And that's
right.
that. Yeah.
Definitely lots of happy stuff going on. I mean,
It's been a month to be a Swiftie.
it has. I don't think we've recorded since the docuseries and such, and the new movie came out. So
Yes. Oh my gosh. My son has been enjoying watching the Eras Tour movie as well.
yes, it's
And
cute.
he got a guitar for Christmas, so he'll break his guitar out and play with her like during All Too Well. And then he loves the I Knew You Were Trouble when she goes, ah, ah.
That is so cute. He does that.
Yeah.
Aww.
And I do
What a
like
sweetie.
hand motions with it, and he thinks it's the funniest thing.
Aw, I love that. That's so cute. Do you end up making it through the entire thing with him?
We're not like just sitting down watching it, but like it'll be on while we're hanging out. So yeah, we've like gotten through it, but we're not just like sitting down watching it.
Right. I feel like attention span wise, we get to Red pretty much, and then somewhere around 1989, there's no helping. It's like we can't make it all the way through, which is fine. So I think I need to like start at 1989 and then
There
move
you
forward
go.
because I love watching the new Tortured Poets
It is
set.
so
It's
good.
so good. Yeah.
I do
So
really
good.
miss Tolerate It, but I can always watch it. We still have it.
Exactly.
And
Right.
I'm so
Yep.
grateful for that. Please don't take it away, Taylor.
No. Yeah, I'm really thankful that we still have Tolerated that we can see, and The Last Great American Dynasty. I love that. That
Yes.
has been recorded for all time. That's not, a cell phone video. It's like a
Right.
HD version of it.
Yes.
So I was really excited for Down Bad because I just love the whole scene with the UFO.
I know. The
You
Tay
know,
Roomba.
yes, the Tay Roomba. Oh my gosh, memories! Wow.
Remember the time it stopped?
I know it broke and
Or it
they
didn't
were
work?
trying to push it. Yeah, they were trying to push it, and then I think she ended up having to like say screw it.
She
Is that
hopped
featured
off
in
and just
the?
bopped around the stage. No, they don't
Right.
talk about it.
That's so funny. She just popped
Yeah.
around the stage. Yeah. Yeah. It was so cool also seeing kind of the behind the scenes of the special guests.
Oh my gosh,
Like
yeah.
with Florence and Ed Sheeran and Sabrina.
Gracie, Sabrina,
And
yeah.
yeah, that was super
Oh,
cool seeing that.
you
I
may
haven't
not have
seen
seen
Gracie.
Gracie. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I love Sabrina.
Yeah. I love
All
her
of them.
outfit that she does. Like her
Little baby
outfit.
doll.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and those heels. So cute. And
She's
that was like
so
an Easter
tiny
egg.
next
I
to
know.
Taylor.
I know. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to tonight's episode of Crimenelia Street. You can follow us on TikTok at Crimenelia ST Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Crimenelia Street. Like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Crimenelia Street Podcast. Or send us an email if you have any episode ideas or feedback or even any stories of your own that are true crime related. You can email us at crimeneliast@gmail.com. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.